When you go to high school, it's kind of hard to do well in classes. I don't think anybody has an amazing friend experience. Another tip is don't think everybody hates you. Personally, for me, if somebody were to ask me, what's your best advice to having a relationship in high school? I would say, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily Santini, and this video is a girl talk about high school. I've never done a girl talk video before, so this is gonna be my first one. So sit back, relax. We're gonna be having a girl talk conversation about everything high school. And also, comment down below other girl talk video topics that you guys would want me to talk about, because I kind of want to do more of these, and I always look at your comments and I love knowing what you guys want as well. I actually did another high school advice video last year, which was advice to freshmen coming from a sophomore. And even though I posted a video last year, I feel like I've learned so much in the past year, and I've had so many new experiences that kind of changed some of my opinions from the last video, but also some experience that I didn't even have opinions on last year. So this year is basically going to be just high school advice overall. We're going to be having a little talk about it from a rising junior. So let's get started. First off, we're going to be talking kind of about classes. One of the first things that people think about when they're going to high school is are the classes harder than middle school? That's kind of a complicated question to answer, because they're not harder in a way that the level of the stuff is 50% harder, you're learning so many more difficult things. It's more you're kind of on your own, and it's up to you if you're gonna do well in the class or not. They simply say, listen, this is the due date, and you either turn it in or you don't. If you don't turn it in, you're gonna get points off for being late. Literally, the number one thing that I suffered from in freshman year was not turning stuff in on time. It was because I missed a due date. I would just forget about it, and then I would get to school and I'd be like, oh my god, I had an assignment that was due today and I completely forgot to do it. I actually have a solution for this: to write down due dates and write down all your homework assignments, basically everything, on a planner. I think people don't understand how much better it is to just take stuff off of your brain, because if it's in your brain, you're gonna forget about it. So ever since then, I think I started writing it down in the second half of the year. I write down all my assignments and everything, and ever since then, I haven't been turning stuff in late, because I always know when things are coming up. When you go into high school, it's kind of hard to do well in classes. Again, not because they're so hard, but because just the way that you're being tested and the way that you're learning is also different than middle school. Some people don't really understand how to do well for them. They don't really understand how to study. And that actually happened to me. Freshman year, I did not know how to study. I didn't really know anything that I had to do in specific to get stuff to stick to my brain. I would just read things and then expect me to do well on the quiz, and obviously I didn't. And then sophomore year is when I fully learned how to study, because of my chemistry class. Actually, it's the second half of the year I just started doing so much better. It was because I knew how to effectively study. So if you're not doing that well freshman year, it's okay. That's kind of supposed to happen. The whole learning more about yourself thing is also important when you're thinking about what classes you're gonna choose. At my school, we get to choose the level of our classes, and also what electives we're gonna take. We get to choose 2 electives. What you need to think about is if you're not a math person and you're not gonna be taking, in college, you're probably not gonna do anything in math. It's okay not to be in the most advanced math. You'll live. Do what you can handle, and things will figure themselves out eventually. Something that's really important is that some people, when they go into freshman year, they have that mentality that they carry from middle school. That's oh, these grades don't count, just how middle school didn't count. That's not true. Freshman year, yes, it's your first year of high school, but colleges do look at those grades, and it's not even about colleges looking at those grades. It's about the fact that it affects your GPA. That's going to be really important later on when you're going into senior year, when you're going to start applying to those colleges, and you need to have a good GPA. And I'm not saying this to put pressure on you, because you're gonna get bad grades in high school. You're gonna get bad grades in freshman year. That's what's gonna happen. But I'm telling you to try. Don't just say, oh, freshman year doesn't count, so I'm just gonna do whatever. I'm gonna take easy classes, and I'm just not gonna do my work, not gonna turn it on time. That's not a good mindset, because I know so many people that now their GPA is below what it should be or what it could be because of the fact that they slacked off at freshman year. And there are other ways you can fix that. You can take dual enrollment classes, but it's harder, and you have to do more just to get where you would already be if you hadn't slacked off in freshman year. But as long as you try hard and you try your best to get good grades, you should be fine. You don't have to really worry about your grades that much. Just try your best and you'll be fine. The next thing I was gonna say is that grades don't define you. Oh my god. Middle school, I used to always get straight A's, right? I used to be and not just me, all my friends, we'd all always get straight A's, we'd all always get hundreds, it used to be easy peasy. got to high school, I got like my first D in biology, my first test, because I had no idea how to study, first of all, and I had no idea what the test would look like. That was such a shocker for me. And so many of my friends also went through that because it was like a really hard class. I'm telling you guys this story so that you guys understand that like it's gonna happen. It happened to me, it happened to my friends, it's probably gonna happen to you. So don't have a mental crisis if you get bad grades on tests, because it's gonna happen eventually, but you can bring your grade up. And also, the grades throughout your quarter are gonna vary so much, and you can't be that fixated. You can be fixated on the fact that like, okay, every single test, like I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm gonna turn in every homework in on time. But the rest, like you have to just like go with what happens and try to make the best of it. Don't be so fixated into it. Next, I'm going to talk about friends. Friends is such a hard topic in high school because of the fact that I don't think anybody has an amazing friend experience. Here's why. I think that everybody in high school is trying to figure out who they are, and they're gonna change so much throughout those 4 years. So as like you're understanding who fits best for you, you're gonna lose some friendships, and you're gonna make some friendships that are really bad. And that's why also you're gonna lose some friendships, and you're gonna make some friendships that are really good, but they might drift away because you're changing as people. You're gonna fluctuate between so many friends throughout high school, and that's like normal. That's what's gonna happen to everyone. I know few people that stay friends with somebody throughout the whole year of high school, and it happens. And if it's happening to you, that's great, because that means you found a really good friend that's probably gonna stick to you for the rest of your life. But that's like probably one. People always say you're not gonna end high school with a friend group that you started out freshman year, and I was always like, that's not gonna happen to me. Like, my friend group, we're solid. Yeah, that happened to me. It's not personal. Things just happen in high school. Some people, everybody's figuring themselves out, and maybe they're going through a phase in which they're not nice people, and it's their development, you know. You can't really try to fix them because they have to figure it out themselves. Another thing that people also have a hard time is making friends in high school. Sometimes it's hard when you've been in a high school for so long, or when you've been in a school for so long, and then all the friend groups are already formed, or maybe you're new and all the friend groups are already formed. But trust me, you will find great people that are just like diamonds hidden in the dirt, and you will get there by talking to people. You have to talk to like a lot of people to figure out who works well with you and who doesn't. If you start talking to everybody, start saying hi, starts having little discussions, you can tell by the way that you're talking to them if they want to talk to you, or by the way that they're responding, if you guys are gonna get along or you're not. And only by having those conversations are you gonna like actually be like, hey, I think that person might make a good friend. Like, I think I'm gonna ask to eat like lunch with them, you know? And that's how you become friends with somebody. I had a friend in my English class last year that I actually like didn't talk to her for like the first half of the year. Like, one day I guess we started talking and we hit it off like so well, and then we just started like eating lunch together and we became really close after that. I know that sometimes literally like everyone in your class is not like a good person. That can happen. That's happened to me. Like, I've had some classes in which I like do not talk because nobody there like hits it off with me. Like, I don't click with those people, and that's okay too. Like, it's okay to have those classes. Just use that class to study. And another way to become even more friends with more people is by becoming friends with the people that work well with you, because there's a high probability that their friends are gonna also work well with you. Like, you guys are probably also gonna click. Try to like expand. I know it's hard, and I know sometimes it can feel really lonely if you don't have any friends. Trust me, I've been through that, and I think everybody has. And just keep that in mind. Like, you're not alone, and the good friends are there. You just have to find them, and they're also trying to find you. Another tip is don't think everybody hates you. Don't think that just because that person didn't invite you to eat lunch with them, that means that they don't want to eat lunch with you. Sometimes they just didn't think of it, or sometimes they thought you didn't want to, you know? So by making that first step, like, you might get rejected, like, that's fine. Like, the worst thing they could say is like no, and then like you never talk to them again, like whatever. Like, if you ask them, hey, do you want to eat lunch, and they're like, oh no, they're like, okay, like, I tried, you know, and just keep on going. The last thing we're gonna talk about is like crushes and overall high school dating and everything like that, and like my opinion about it. So I've actually had a boyfriend for 2 years, but we don't go to the same school, and I think that's actually part of the reason why we've lasted for so long, because I've been friends with some people that have started dating people from school, and then that's caused so much drama within like the two friend groups, and like people talking about something that he said about her or something that he said he was gonna do, and then it getting to her, and that's kind of complicated. So I've always kind of tried to stay away. Personally, for me, if somebody were to ask me what's your best advice to having like a relationship in high school, I would say go look outside of school, whatever sport you're doing, or maybe like whatever after school activity you're doing, or like if it's drama, like I don't even know, something like that. Maybe when you're volunteering or when you're out, because I feel like that way you have like a better chance of working out. But still, some people, some of my friends have had good relationships with people at school. So if you have someone that you actually find cute and they're actually nice at school, I wouldn't say stay away from them. In high school, I feel like people were really scared to start dating as well. Like people are scared to like make the first move because they're scared that they're gonna get rejected. It's kind of like the same thing I said about making friendships. Just ask them, like just start a conversation. The worst thing they could say is be like, no, I don't want to talk to you. And then you're like, okay, well, that person's an asshole. Like, okay, dodge the bullet, you know? Like, people aren't that scary and friend groups aren't that scary. So like, if you think a guy is cute, you're like, hey, how did you do on the math test? And he's talking to you and you guys are actually having a conversation. That's how you can like form a relationship. So my best advice is just to reach out and see what happens. So many girls are like scared to talk to guys. Like they say that they should make the move first. But personally, I don't think that's really, you know, like just talk to them like they're normal people, and like maybe they're scared to talk to you. And so many guys that I've talked to have said that like when girls first approach them, like they think that's so brave and like badass, and like that actually kind of makes them like them even more. Start conversations, go with your friends. If your friend has like a boyfriend, ask her boyfriend to bring a guy for you, go on double dates, and basically just like have fun. And also, I do want to warn you to, if you don't want to do anything, like if you don't want to hook up with anybody or if you don't want to date anybody, you don't have to. Nobody's gonna judge you. Like I have friends that have never dated anyone, have never even kissed anyone, and it's not like we judge them. Another thing I want to warn you about is when seniors try to hit on you, because that happened to me and that's really weird. And for some people, having a relationship with upperclassmen works. My boyfriend is actually a year ahead of me, but you also have to be careful because sometimes they're on such like a different maturity level than you. Because like for me, I'm so much more mature now than I was a year ago that I can't imagine dating somebody when I was a freshman that's in senior year. But that's also, you know, for me. You do you, but just always be careful what their ulterior motive is. Overall, high school is not that scary, and I just recommend reaching out to people and basically just talking to them. And also, if you're having a hard time with friendships, trust me, it'll get better. And if you guys have any specific questions, my camera started to overheat, so like it just cut off. But anyway, I'm gonna finish it off now. If you guys have any specific questions that I didn't answer in this video, comment down below. I would love to answer them. If you've seen any of my other videos and you've commented, I probably answered as well. And yeah, I'm always here for you guys if you have any questions or if you want advice on anything. And also comment down below anything else, like any other topics for girl talk you guys would want me to talk about. Thank you so much if you made it all the way through this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!